Paul Finebaum, considering leaving ESPN to become a U.S. Senator as a Republican. Dun, dun, dun. I'm Dylan Hilder. This is the Dylan Hilder Show. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any racing, football, true crime, news, all of that jazz. Let's dive into the exclusive story straight out of Outkick. Paul Finebaum considering leaving ESPN to pursue U.S. Senate seat as a Republican. This article from Outkick by Dan Zakshki. I'm butchering the name, but have a normal name. Oh, goodness. All right. SEC Network host and analyst Paul Finebaum says he's considering leaving ESPN to run for the U.S. Senate, and he would run on the Republican ticket. In an exclusive interview with Outkick's Clay Travis, Finebaum said the Charlie Kirk assassination made him rethink his priorities. The 70-year-old radio and TV host said he struggled to do his show shortly after hearing about Kirk's death. I spent 4 hours, numb, talking about things that didn't matter to me. And it kept building throughout that weekend, Finebaum told Travis. I felt very empty doing what I was doing that day. And I mean, same. I was at work when everything went down with Charlie Kirk, and it was numbing, and millions of people around this country, we all saw the gruesome footage. We all saw it. It will haunt many people for the rest of their lives. Seeing what happened, you have people on YouTube and other places trying to say, oh no, it wasn't this, it was that, this, that, the other, and trying to drudge up 18 different conspiracy theories. And we can go into all that on a different video, but I'll just leave that section to this. I trust Kash Patel, and I trust Dan Bongino. That's all I'm going to say on that matter. But as far as the actual assassination, the effect that it had on Americans, I mean, I saw people on TikTok who never posted anything political beforehand, ever. Talking about Charlie Kirk and how he was killed for simply exercising his First Amendment rights and giving people a platform to have an open discussion. And the list just goes on and on and on, and people coming out horrified at what they have seen. And that, something like that shock to the system is enough to wake up even the most apolitical minds in this country to say, oh my God, we have a problem here. We have a serious problem here. And then it only exacerbated by people coming out on the internet and celebrating his death. And that only just completely unveiled the ugly mask of, I'm not even going to say the radical left. I mean, the left. The Democrats. I mean, you go and look, they're trying to have a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk and his family. And you have people in office, elected by the people, screaming, yelling, booing, preventing a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. I mean, even if you didn't like him, it's called common human decency. And you can come at me in the comments all you want about, he was this, he was that, he was this, he was that. I don't care. I don't care. Charlie Kirk was an icon. He started a whole freaking movement. Whether you love him or hate him, you have to acknowledge that. And pay some respect for what he was able to accomplish in his short 31 years of life. I mean, it is utterly insane. Now, we move on to... While Finebaum said he didn't know Kirk personally, the murder had a massive impact on him. It's hard to describe not being involved in politics. How that affected me and affected tens of millions of people all over this country. And it was an awakening, he said. Now, Finebaum, having a radio show and a national TV show on the SEC network, he has one of the best... He gets some of the best feelings from the country of anybody. And it's even better than what you would see from people that work for Fox News or even Fox Sports or CNN or USA Today, AP. He gets the best. He is one that gets one of the best because he doesn't do politics. He is apolitical. And so he's going to see a true awakening better than almost anybody in media, as far as a political awakening. He's going to see that more than a lot of people. So, yeah, when he says there's an awakening, believe it. Believe it. So, move on to... Then came a couple of conversations that piqued Finebaum's interest in something he had never previously considered. One or two people in Washington had reached out to me about whether I would be interested in politics. Something I never thought about before. Something I didn't even really think possible. I gave some thought to it as the weekend after Kirk's murder unfolded, and it got a little bit more interested. As far as his potential path to public office, Travis noted that Tommy Tuberville, one of Alabama's senators, running for the governor of the state, so his seat is likely to be open for someone to take. Finebaum was reluctant at first to even consider the possibility because former Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl had expressed interest in the seat. But once Pearl said that wasn't his plan, Finebaum changed his perspective. I was hesitant at first. I was very aware of Bruce's interest and a huge fan of Bruce. I didn't take it too seriously, Finebaum said. I ended up talking to someone who made it clear that there was a desire for me to be involved. And this person was compelling, compassionate in the approach to me, and I started thinking about this. Finebaum spent his entire professional career working in media, starting as a columnist in Birmingham, before eventually hosting the Paul Finebaum Show on local Alabama radio. The show grew, and eventually ESPN hired him and brought the show to anchor the launch of the new SEC network in 2014. Finebaum and his wife moved to Charlotte in 2013, the location of the SEC network headquarters. However, he always wanted to return to Alabama. The pair moved back earlier this year, opening the path for a potential run in the Senate. Alabama has always been a place I've felt the most welcome, that I've cared the most about the people. I've spoken to people from Alabama for 35 years, and I feel there is a connection that is hard to explain, he said. While Finebaum has been hesitant to discuss his politics while at ESPN, both because his company's policy on politics, which one side has completely ignored, and because he didn't want to alienate anyone in his audience. He admitted his allegiance to Travis. I never said this before, but Why am I going to hold this back? I just moved and registered in Alabama, but I am a registered Republican in North Carolina as of this hour. And I was a registered Republican in Alabama before I moved, he said. Travis asked Finebaum if he voted for President Donald Trump. Yes, but ESPN also tells us not to discuss that, he said with a laugh. Huh, what do you know? ESPN trying to keep the love for Donald Trump under wraps. Which kind of explains why their ratings are always in the tank when it's not football. And in some cases, even when there is football. But anyway, while Finebaum isn't entirely decided on whether to run for the U.S. Senate quite yet, he is aware of the time constraints and has an idea about his personal timeline for a decision. Even though he admits it's difficult to balance his ESPN responsibilities while contemplating a massive career change, I've always been made aware that the qualifying deadline is in January. That's the ideal. I'd love to get to the end of the season, and I don't know if that's realistic. I would like to make this decision fairly soon in the next 30 to 45 days, he said. Travis asked Finebaum if he could be a good representative for the people of Alabama. Absolutely. I believe very strongly in that, Finebaum responded. One thing I don't want to do as I sit here as a talk show host is to sound like a politician, because I'm not. At least, not yet. I've been speaking to Alabamans for 35 years. I feel like I know who they are. I think they know who I am. You cannot hide when you're on a radio show. And he is absolutely correct. I can't think of anybody in the state of Alabama who's going to have a better pulse on the actual state of Alabama itself. I mean, for goodness sake, like, he has been able to bring together Alabama fans and Auburn fans together to watch his show, to listen to his show. I mean, what he has been able to do in his decades in radio is astounding. Now, Finebaum and I may have our disagreements. Me being one of those weird enigmas of, yes, my favorite college football team is Georgia, but I have a unbelievable, some say little unhealthy, love for Big Ten football. From Camp Randall to Kinnick, watching Northwestern go up against Illinois, and I mean, it's just one of those things that, hey, he loves the SEC. He loves the state of Alabama. I love the Big Ten. I love it here in Ohio. I love it. I have a great time. And yeah, we definitely absolutely disagree on some aspects, but that doesn't make him a terrible human being. Now, yeah, I know, I'm on the right side of the aisle. He'd be running on my side of the aisle. But I don't care. I just want the right person, and I just want the best possible person in each and every seat in Congress, in the White House, governor, in the governor's mansion, so on and so forth. I just want the best possible person. Period. Have we gotten that? No, not even close. Quite frankly, I think Congress is shooting. I mean, they're making their shooting percentage, so to speak. It is so low it makes Angel Reese look like Steph Curry from long range. It is atrocious. I mean, I think Buzz Lightyear came down from space, and that's where he got the line. Came down from space into DC, and that's where he probably got the line of, there seems to be no sign of intelligent life forms anywhere. Yeah, because he was probably in D.C. Nonetheless. And then he pretty much goes on to say that if Donald Trump asked him to, he absolutely would. So, that's pretty much the shakedown of it. Paul, and I can already hear a bunch of detractors. Oh, he doesn't have any experience in politics. I mean, he just got into it. What would be at the time of recording? 19 days ago, after Kirk's shooting. And I can only laugh at that and say, that's not a bug, that's a feature. I don't want politicians doing politics. Period. I want honest, hardworking people in those seats in office. We haven't had those since I would say since the Constitution was written, but we had some shady characters there too. And Paul Finebaum, albeit love him, hate him, he's a real, genuine person. And when he goes to DC, if he ends up going to DC, I hope he keeps that about him. Be honest, be real, be genuine. Don't be fake. Don't fall into the political mafia. That would be my advice for Paul Finebaum should he end up running for Senate and getting that seat. I think he would be one of the few, if not one of the best people in the state of Alabama to represent the great people of Alabama. Now, I kind of say that with a little bit of a twitch because of the events that happened Saturday night, but we're gonna put that to the side. But in all seriousness, Finebaum, I think he'd be a tremendous senator, as long as he actually stays out of the political side, and he just stays being real, being genuine, and keep being Paul Finebaum. Keep being you. That is the advice that I would give to Paul Finebaum. And maybe hold your nose when you get to DC. It might smell pretty terrible, actually. But nonetheless, yeah, it would be a great transition from Tuberville to Finebaum. And like I said, hopefully Finebaum stays being real, stays being genuine, and don't fall into the political gangs. Be real, be yourself, be Paul Finebaum. That's all I got for you today. Well, at least in this video. I might make another one. We'll see. But until then, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any football, racing, true crime, and U.S. and world news. We'll see you all in the next one.